So if you could briefly set up the premise for me of Another Earth. It's a mix of reality and sci-fi.
Right, Another Earth is it's a story with a larger context, which is the discovery of a duplicate Earth. All 6.3 billion of us are also living there, and so with this conceit, the possibility of meeting yourself is a very real possibility. You could sit down with you and interview yourself and talk to yourself and feel that person. And so it takes the internal monologue that we all have and externalizes it. Within that larger concept, we tell the story of this young, bright woman named Rhoda Williams who causes this horrific accident and intertwines her life with this composer's. It's a basic story, and love, redemption, minimalist sci-fi, basically sums it up. Hell of a ride of the movies, I don't know. It's like...
Now, you are a director, co-writer, you're also
Yes.
a cinematographer,
Right.
editor,
Yeah.
producer. Tell me about wearing all those different hats and how it helps inform like a really, because the movie's very intimate and it has a very singular voice.
Right. Wearing all those different hats was born out of necessity. We came from a very modest budget, and you know, like we live in a time where cameras are ubiquitous, editing machines, you can get your hands on it, so young filmmakers can really get their hands dirty in all the different fields. And for me, it kind of feels like one continuous artistic brushstroke, like from conception all the way to the final cut. And we were fortunate enough to have these great producers on board who watched different, you know, takes and cuts and had that outside criticism that we needed to get it to the precise place that it is. But for me, I loved that amount of control over the larger picture.
Now, what made Brit and William the perfect choices?
I mean, well, Brit is a friend of mine for many years, from Georgetown. We went to school together, and she is the smartest person I know, the most talented actor. She lived the character of Rhoda inside of her. She went through the backstory. She brought this character to life, and you can feel that she herself was moved. I think she's one of the most exciting actors, new actors in the world right now, and I'm glad the world's being introduced to her. She's just phenomenal. And I've known William working in The Bedroom and Lost, and he has this energy, the screen energy, that is both intimidating yet intelligent, and there's a lightness underneath it that I wanted to crack. I wanted that to come out. And his character goes through this arc of darkness to lightness, and so he was the perfect fit.
That's such a, not to get on a tangent, but that's such a great description of him. I mean, yeah, even in small roles like The Grudge, and,
yeah, right.
You know, and all the Law and Order stuff, he shows up once in a while. Yeah, that's great.
And he's got that energy, you know, yeah, he knocks it out of the park. He's amazing.
Now, last question for this interview. How hard was it to maintain that balance between the different themes? Because I found, as an audience member, I was very surprised and intrigued that although it's sci-fi premise,
right?
I felt like you could actually strip the sci-fi out of the movie and still have the same story.
Right,
well, a compelling story.
It's an interesting point. The sci-fi premise is the backdrop. It's like the setting. It's like setting it in New England versus setting it at the bottom of the ocean versus setting it on a space station. But ultimately, it's the human drama is what the story is about. I think the choice of the alternate, or having a duplicate Earth, is more of a technique to allow the audience to imagine, to allow the characters to imagine, to let those themes of self-judgment and self-awareness and forgiveness of the self really have take on a visual storyline.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah.